Tonight on News 5 Live, a father and son from Louisville are kidnapped in Chetumal. Mexican authorities are investigating their abduction. A farmer gets 16 years in prison for the rape of a minor. What's up with all those used tires on the More Tomorrow Road? And in tonight's episode of the 5-Point Breakdown, we look at the pending changes to the Belizean currency. We'll bring you up to speed with today's stories in 1 minute.
My name is Hermine Vega. El Patio Grill has been using Belize Bank for over 25 years. We only use Belize Bank at our restaurant. That's why we were able to win this trip to Europe. I had never been to Europe. We found out it was Madrid and we were excited and we went to this football match. The teams reached before the game and everybody was just outside, you know. You can't explain, the noise just roared like 3 blocks down the street, but when you got in there and you saw 70,000 people in there, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it was happening. I had to pinch myself to make sure it was real, you know, because it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, I'd say. My lucky plus one was my son. He's 18 years old, so he was really excited and he enjoyed it as well. He said it's his best trip ever, so it's a priceless experience that we got. Belize Bank has always been there for me. Whatever transactions or whatever I need to do, they're always there for me. I would recommend everybody to use Belize Bank. It's the oldest bank in our country and they continue to do their best.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, October 9th. I am Sabrina Daly. We start tonight's newscast with a chilling report. A father and son from Corozal have been kidnapped. The details are still sketchy, but what we do know is that the incident occurred across the northern border in Chetumal, Quintana Roo. This area is popular with Belizeans, especially on weekends for shopping, medical treatment, and entertainment. The two men are Louisville resident, 48-year-old Luis Camara, and his 19-year-old son, Johan. Mexican authorities are urgently seeking the public's help to locate them and have circulated bulletins with their images, hoping someone has seen them or knows their whereabouts. Johan is described as having a dark complexion, short wavy black hair, and black eyes. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighs a little over 250 pounds. He was last seen wearing a short-sleeved black shirt and black denim pants. Luis was wearing a short-sleeved light blue shirt, light blue jeans, and brown boots. Reports indicate that the two men were taken by a group of heavily armed men when Luis tried to defend Johan, who was under attack. The father and son were traveling in a vehicle when another vehicle suddenly pulled up in front of them, opened fire, and then attempted to take Johan away by force. Mexican police have provided a contact number for anyone with information on their whereabouts: 983-835-0050, extension 1132. News 5 has tried to reach the family and Belize's ambassador to Mexico, Oscar Arnold, for comment, but has not yet succeeded. 12 days ago, former senior accountant Ivan Ayuso admitted to embezzling over $1 million of taxpayers' monies from the National Sports Council. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of theft and 3 counts of money laundering. The High Court has already indicated that Ayuso will receive no more than 5 years in jail. However, his plea bargain with the DPP means he cannot contest the government's move to seize his house. Today, Ayuso's family members gathered in the courtroom to support his mitigation plea. Justice Nigel Pilgrim heard from 3 character witnesses: Ayuso's son, Adrian Ivan Ayuso, his younger brother, Naim Santos Ayuso, and Myrna Ramona Haylock. Adrian gave an emotional account of his father, describing him as a wonderful, quiet, and strong person who stays out of trouble. He spoke about how hard the news of his father's crimes has been on the family and apologized to the country of Belize on behalf of his father, pleading for leniency. Naim also asked the court for leniency, expressing how much the family loves and needs Ayuso. Ayuso was supposed to be sentenced today, but the DPP was not ready to make the forfeiture application, so the matter has been postponed to October 25th. A 43-year-old farmer is spending his first night of a 16-year sentence behind bars. Vicente Carreras has been sentenced for 2 counts of rape of a 14-year-old minor, for which he was convicted back in July of this year. This morning, Vicente appeared before Justice Candice Nanton in the High Court, where she heard mitigation pleas from 2 character witnesses, including his mother and his pastor, Elario Davis. Carreras' last word to the court was one of remorse, telling the court he is sorry for what he did, admitting to guilt. Carreras, who was facing a mandatory sentence of 12 years minimum for each count, was sentenced to 2 16-year terms. However, Justice Nanton took into consideration his 15 days on remand. She deducted those days, leaving him with 15 years, 11 months, and 15 days left behind bars. Justice Nanton ordered that his 2 sentences run concurrently with each other. As was reported, Justice Nanton found Carreras guilty of 2 counts of rape of a child on July 22nd, after DNA evidence linking him to the crime scene was submitted. Despite the DNA results presented by prosecutor Romy Cunningham, Carreras denied raping the minor. He raped the 14-year-old on June 27, 2019, and again on August 26, 2019. In the trial, Carreras was represented by attorney Ronel Gonzalez. A family of 3 was dragged to court late Tuesday on a drug charge after police found 77 grams of marijuana inside their refrigerator on Myrtle Wade Crescent in Ladyville. They are 41-year-old Herbie Edison Morera, a tour guide, his common-law wife, 39-year-old Charisse Andrea Foreman, and 66-year-old Bernadette Williamson. The trio appeared in the magistrate's court in the presence of their attorney Godwin Haylock, where they were read a charge each of possession of a controlled drug with intent to supply 77 grams of cannabis to another person or persons for the purpose of drug trafficking. Haylock asked for a sentencing indication as Morera was contemplating pleading guilty. The magistrate indicated that she would impose a non-custodial sentence of a fine of no more than $2,000, but only if he has no previous conviction or has special reasons why a fine is appropriate in his case. His attorney Haylock submitted that while this is not Morera's first drug charge, his conviction for possession of a controlled drug with intent to supply from 2013 is on appeal. Haylock also asked the court to take into consideration the small quantity of drugs. Morera pleaded guilty and was fined $1,400. Morera is facing the mandatory minimum fine of $10,000 in default 3 years, plus an additional prison time of 3 years if he had not pleaded guilty, but was found guilty. Over the past week, we've been covering a troubling case of alleged bullying at St. John's College that left 13-year-old Dominic Alvarado seriously injured and bedridden. This incident comes on the heels of another in Stan Creek District back in mid-June. These events have sparked public outrage and raised serious concerns about the safety of children in Belizean schools. We spoke with Diane Mejia, the CEO of the Ministry of Education, to get some insight into how the ministry is addressing this critical issue.
So the Ministry of Education categorically denounces any and all acts of bullying. We are obviously very concerned for any student who is a victim of bullying of any form. We recognize that bullying activities, that these actions are indications of deeper challenges, unfortunately. And we recognize that there's only so much that any one person can do, but I think these activities highlight the need for responses, continued campaigns in our schools. All our high schools run anti-bullying campaigns. They run as part of their life skills activities. Some of them in particular take the approach of teaching kindness and promoting kindness campaigns. We also see this as proof of the need for counselors in all our schools. We need counselors. The ministry is committed to first with secondary schools, to ensuring that each secondary school has a non-teaching counselor. So that's something we're working toward. But we recognize that we also need counselors for primary schools. You know, we need to train our counselors and provide support for them. And then, of course, on the biggest level, we recognize the importance of family support, of community support, working together so that we could just really build a belief that is going to be more kind and more accepting and more inclusive, more helpful.
Coming up, MIDH says used rubber tires and more tomorrow are for road work.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
La formación del Centro Neurológico del Hospital Galenia es que esas enfermedades que son altamente complejas y que muchos de nuestros pacientes tenían que emigrar hacia otra parte de la República u otra parte de México ahora puedan ser atendidos aquí.
La atención quirúrgica en el centro neurológico se forma dentro de un grupo multidisciplinario que incluye tanto neurólogos, médicos internistas, ortopedistas, neurocirujanos, pediatras. Y este esfuerzo que se ha realizado para conjuntar todos los especialistas es para siempre brindar al paciente un abordaje multidisciplinario y transversal.
Evidentemente, mientras más rápido podamos llegar al diagnóstico de los pacientes, más rápido podemos tratarlos, resolverlos y por ende mejor resultado vamos a tener al final. Entonces creo que la prioridad y El fundamento principal de un proyecto como este es justamente eso, que no se pierda tiempo de forma innecesaria para poder al final del día llegar al mejor de los resultados con un tratamiento completo, integral y oportuno.
Y las visiones desde diferentes perspectivas nos permiten tener pues el mejor tratamiento y la mejor opción para el paciente.
Tenemos la capacidad técnica, operativa, profesional y la infraestructura de poder establecer una atención neurológica de alta calidad.
Are you leading the way in sustainable development? Protecting mangroves is more than a choice. It's a responsibility. The Mangrove Friendly Development Challenge is your platform to showcase designs that harmonize development with nature. Let your innovation shine and help preserve Belize's mangroves. Register by October 15th, 2024. Visit mangrovefriendlychallenge.org to learn more.
There's an old proverb that says, "He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything." We showcase that hope from discussions on health and wellness, climate change, and updates on NCDs and a lot more. Stay tuned to Caribbean Medical TV.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Sbarro, the original New York pizza you know and love. Sbarro's extra-large pizzas are handmade fresh daily with San Marzano-style sauce, 100% whole milk mozzarella on a hand-stretched 17-inch dough. Available whole or by the slice, so you can simply fold, eat, and repeat.
Last month, we reported on allegations of election fraud made by the UDP standard-bearer for Cayo North, Omar Figueroa. He claims that over 100 voter registrations during the transfer period are fraudulent, citing unspecified and overcrowded home addresses as key indicators. On Tuesday and earlier today, Figueroa and the magistrate visited several of these addresses to investigate. After today's hearing, the magistrate decided that the matter will be forwarded to the High Court, with no determination made yet. For now, all 100 and voter transfers will remain in their original constituencies until a final decision is reached. We caught up with Figueroa before today's verdict for more details.
Well, we're hoping it is the last day. You know, it's been going on for, I think, this is probably the 5th session. But we're covering a lot of grounds and we're making a lot of progress. The last session we had, the magistrate went to visit 3 of the landlords. Unfortunately, none of the landlords were home, and none of the persons that we were objecting to were home. It was a total of 46 persons at 3 different houses. The magistrate was not able to speak to anyone other than some of the neighbors. We are feeling very confident that the reasons for objections are valid. We believe that in fact the cases are fraudulent registrations. It is our hope that at the end of the day the magistrate will weigh all the evidence that is before her. In cases like this, at times it's kind of hard to prove that someone doesn't live at the house when the landlord is saying they live at the house, and then there's a refusal from the landlords to show up to court, and obviously we feel like they were evading us yesterday, but we will see what happens today. Today we have the last testimony, the final two houses that we are objecting to. One of them, by the way, yesterday was one of the one-bedroom starter homes that the government really recently issued. Two of those are actually on the table here. So two of those have been used for these registrations. And you guys know as well as I do how many people can comfortably fit in those houses.
After weeks of back and forth in the San Ignacio Magistrates Court over alleged voter registration fraud in the Cayo North constituency, the magistrate decided that no determination could be made. The case will now move to the High Court for further proceedings. However, it's not all bad news for UDP standard bearer Omar Figueroa, who brought the case to court. For now, all 101 voter transfers will remain in their original constituencies. Throughout the 5 court sessions, Figueroa has faced criticism from the public, with some claiming that voter fraud is a common practice by both parties every year. We asked Figueroa for his response to these comments. Here's what he had to say.
What do you have to say to the people that criticize this trial, saying, oh, it happens every year, both parties do it, and they think that this is a waste of time?
I don't subscribe to that argument. If we believe in what we're doing, then at some point the change has to start. Our country is governed by a parliamentary system of government, right? Which essentially means we have 31 constituencies, and it is the legal residents of those constituencies that should determine who the standard bearers are. And there is, I've heard that argument from several fronts, but like I said, if we don't start to do the things the right way, you know, it's never too late to start well and get this thing done the right way.
Residents of More Tomorrow in the Cayo district were alarmed on Tuesday when they stumbled upon thousands of used tires dumped along the road to their village. Initially, it seemed like these old tires were just being discarded there. However, News 5 later discovered that the Ministry of Infrastructure, Development and Housing had placed them there for roadwork purposes. Chief Engineer Evondale Moody explained that the road to More Tomorrow is prone to flooding, and the ministry is experimenting with using these rubber tires in road construction to address the issue.
The ministry has just over 3,100 miles of road that we have to maintain countrywide, and one such road is the More Tomorrow Road, which is a secondary/feeder road within the Cayo district. And that road normally is susceptible to flooding. As you may be aware, I think a few weeks ago, there were some complaints from the school in that area about access to the village and also to the school. And so we had to go in and do some remedial works in terms of periodic maintenance, but that is our 4th trip to that area just in this year. And so what we were trying is a engineering technology called mechanical concrete, whereby you utilize old tires to construct a formation basically, and you would utilize that in areas where you have areas that are susceptible to flooding, or you have major consolidation. And so the old tires are basically set up in a grid formation, similar to what we call a geogrid, which you would have to import. However, utilizing the old tires is beneficial to us because it also prevents erosion from happening, and it also acts as a confinement for the aggregate that we're placing on the road. Because within the area that we're doing this pilot project on the More Tomorrow Road is, as I said, is usually susceptible to flooding. And we thought that trying this technology, it will also be environmentally friendly. So the idea is that you place these tires in a grid formation, and we infill these tires with aggregate and then compact over it. And so we have done that today for approximately about 500 meters. We intend to try and complete at least 1.6 kilometers, which is about a mile. And we want to do that by the end of this week as a pilot project.
When we visited the location earlier today, we met a team of workmen laying down the tires in what Moody describes as a geogrid, which is used to reinforce soils and similar materials. Geogrids are much stronger in tension compared to soil. This strength lets them spread forces over a larger area of soil, making the ground more stable and secure than it would be otherwise. Here's more from MIDH.
It's an old technology in which you're providing a firmer base for low-lying parts of the road. You dump over them, they form like a cell, like a honeycomb. And once you dump over them, they stay in place, and you raise the road. It's much cheaper, it's very, very environmentally friendly and easy to do. So that's what basically they're for.
The ministry itself has a large fleet of equipment, and we continuously have to be changing out tires, but there's no use for those old tires. We can't burn them. There's no way we could discard of them. And so the process that we are implementing, as far as we know, it's an environmentally friendly process because we're basically just burying the tires and using them within the road construction industry to help us elevate the road formation and also protect it from being inundated by flood waters. So the idea that we are implementing on the Motumara Road, we believe will be more beneficial to the community. And once this is proven to be successful in Belize, then it's something that we would be able to try in other areas throughout the country. Because this is not the first country that is implementing this technology. It has been done in Central America, it's been done in the US and also in Canada and some parts of Europe as well.
What's the latest on the Belize City Swing Bridge? The crossing near the mouth of the Halover Creek is in dire need of being replaced. Earlier today, we asked Chief Engineer Evondale Moody for an update on the pending project, which will be funded by the Japanese government.
In respect to the Belize City Swing Bridge, yes, I have been involved in discussions with JICA. That is the Japanese that will be financing that project. And in the last discussion I had with them, I think just over a month ago, there's a consultancy team that is supposed to be in the country within the next week or 2 weeks to carry out the final studies with respect to the design of that structure. That is because this project will be funded by Japan, and so they intend to engage a Japanese consultant to do the design and also a Japanese contractor to construct that bridge. So we expect that by early next year, like the first quarter, we should get confirmation from them with respect to the financing, and then those works could commence on the Belize City Swing Bridge. With respect to the Belcan Bridge, there's no new update on that. We're still waiting on a decision from the Ministry of Finance on how we will proceed with the implementation of that project.
After the break, appreciation and concern over currency notes' new faces. But first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
The Statistical Institute of Belize, in collaboration with UNICEF, informs the public that they will conduct the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey starting August 26th for approximately 14 weeks. During the survey, trained interviewers will visit randomly selected households nationwide. Each field worker will wear a mint green t-shirt with the Mix 7 logo and an official photo identification card. We thank you for your participation. For more information on the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, call us at 822-2207. The Statistical Institute of Belize, providing Belize with quality, objective, and timely information.
Take control with My Social Security, your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. To create a My Social Security account, you must be 14 years or older and have a valid email address. Visit the My Social Security self-service portal at ssbportal.org.bz. Click on Create Account. Enter your date of birth and phone number. Next, verify your email address to continue. To verify, simply enter your email address and click the Send Verification button. Enter the verification code sent to your email inbox to proceed. Next, create a password that meets the requirements. Enter the name and select a reason for your account. Then click Create. Your My Social Security account was successfully created. Your information security is our priority. If you have a Social Security number, click Link My SSN to link your Social Security number to your account and activate using the steps in your confirmation email. If you do not have a Social Security number, click Register with SSB. You are now ready to truly experience Social Security at your fingertips.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
MacNav Visual Strategies, where creativity meets business. Step inside our world of innovative visual solutions. From captivating graphic design to expansive wide format productions, our services are tailored to bring your vision to life. Experience the impact of our high-quality signage and billboards, embroidery, promotional items, and professional paper printing, all designed to elevate your brand's presence. Every project reflects our commitment to creativity, quality, and client satisfaction. At MacNav Visual Strategies, we transform ideas into visual realities. Get in touch today.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
There's an old proverb that says, "He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything." We showcase that hope from discussions on health and wellness, climate change, and updates on NCDs and a lot more. Stay tuned to Caribbean Medical TV.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
In just a few months, Belize will be rolling out new currency notes, and they're coming with some big changes. For as long as we can remember, we've always seen the face of the British monarch on our money. But that's about to change. The late Queen Elizabeth II, whose face has graced our notes since her coronation in 1952, will be replaced, not by her son, King Charles, but by notable Belizeans. Some folks think this change should have happened back when we switched from British Honduras to Belize in 1973, or when we gained independence in 1981. Others worry that moving from a royal to a patriotic theme might have some impact on our currency's value. In this edition of our 5-Point Breakdown, News 5's Marian Ali dives into what this change means for us. Here's the scoop.
The governor of the central bank came to my office, I think about 2 weeks ago, to show us the new dollars. We're using the national heroes, both George Price and Philip Goldson. They are the ones that are going to be on the face.
When Prime Minister John Briceño announced on September 17th that our new currency notes will feature national heroes George Price and Philip Goldson instead of the late Queen Elizabeth, reactions were all over the place. Some people were thrilled about the change, while others had their reservations. The new notes will be hitting our wallets in the coming months, and it's clear that this decision has sparked quite a bit of conversation.
I don't think George Price nor Philip Goldson business for no money. By the end of the day, they're not just some heroes that do certain things to Belize, but by the end of the day, the Queen and the person who actually make this money stay at the top.
The Queen been on this money for a long time, so people are used to seeing that. If they see Philip Goldson pays and George Price pays on it, they're going to think it's a counterfeit money.
I don't think it will make any difference with the value of the money. Okay, I don't see any reason why it should make a difference. Because our money is only good in Belize anyhow. You can't take it anywhere else, even with the Queen's face on it.
Someday you have to change. All the next country, when they get after a while, they get their own, they own the prime minister or whoever put on the paper money. So I don't see it as no devaluation.
If you really think about it, if the money do put on somebody else's face, remember we don't have Guatemala, we want to take over Belize. So I think Guatemala more want to step in now because they have said that we know they are not the British colony again.
I think if we take the Queen's or the King's head off our money, I think we will suffer. For some reason, I don't know.
You think the money will be worth less?
Less, yes, I think so.
While there are Belizeans who have that concern that removing the late monarch's face from the Belize dollar and replacing it with those of Belizean heroes will have a negative impact on the value of the Belize dollar, one economist we spoke with assures that is not the case. Rumil Arana says the value of the Belize currency has more to do with economics than what is printed on it.
When we're talking about our Belizean currency, having the Queen's face on it, having the King's face on it, having my face on it, won't give it any value. What gives it value is the laws and the regulations of our country. It doesn't matter whose face is on the dollar.
The legislation to place the Queen's face on Belize's currency dates back to the early 1900s, when Belize was a British colony.
When the first banknotes were provided, that was in the early 1900s, I believe, the monarchs were placed on the dollar bills. Now, if you look at the Central Bank of Belize, they have a history of our currency. We've had bills where there's a young Queen Elizabeth on there, and now we had bills where there was an older Queen Elizabeth on there.
While Belize is a former British colony, our currency is pegged to the US dollar at a rate of 2 Belize dollars to 1 US dollar.
The exchange rate is what you would pay for another currency like in terms of Belize dollars. Like we would say it costs $2 billion to get 1 US. That right there is our currency pegged. We have been pegged to the US dollar since about 1976. And that has not changed throughout history, no matter what has happened in the economy.
What would trigger devaluation of the Belize dollar? Arana explains that devaluation is a decision that governments take based on economic fundamentals.
When a country devalues its currency, it's because it's looking to boost its exports. Because when you devalue your currency, your currency becomes cheaper for foreigners. So now if Belize devalues its currency to say like 3 to 1, not saying this is going to happen, but if Belize devalues its currency from 3 to 1, that means that the goods and services from Belize are cheaper to people in the United States. So people do that for export purposes. If you stay at your fixed rate exchange regime, the only thing that you have to do for Belize, the only thing that we have to do is to maintain a certain level of foreign exchange within our economy.
Arana believes that featuring the faces of Philip Goulson and George Price on Belize's currency would be a fantastic way to honor these two national heroes. The families of both men are thrilled at the idea of seeing their loved ones celebrated in this way. Alice Craig recently shared how much she treasured the moments spent with her uncle, George Price, especially since the family often had to share him with the entire country.
I can recall seeing so many pictures of my aunts and my uncles, but minus Uncle George. You know, I would see Mom and Dad, I would see Aunt Joe and Uncle Polly, I would see Aunt Jane and Uncle Henry, I would see Aunt Betsy and Uncle Gilly, you know, in the pictures. John Price was in then sometimes. Uncle Sam left from early, so he wasn't around much. But Uncle George was never there because he was doing the business of the country. Those of my cousins who were born in that time were lucky enough to travel with him when he moved around the country. He would take turns calling on us to go, and I went with him twice.
Philip Goulson's son, also named Philip, was appreciative of the decision made.
It's a good thing for Belize to have its notable people represented all aspects of life, and the currency is a major part of that. And having or starting with our Belizean heroes is a good starting point for this. I believe my father would have also been felt positive about it. He might not have been eager to have his face on it, but he would have been positive about doing something like this. Without that group that began this process of changing and demanding change and suffering for it, we might not be where we are today, might be much further back in our development.
The new red and blue currency notes are set to hit the streets in just a few weeks. While Britons sing "God Save the King," Belizeans will soon be saving money that proudly features the faces of those who stood up against the monarchy. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
When we return, the indigenous resistance is still going strong.
Welcome to Design Depot, home of Sherwin-Williams Paint. Sherwin-Williams Paint is one of the most reputable paints in the industry, known for its superior quality, durability, and environmentally friendly technology. We carry a large variety of products for all your home and commercial needs, such as interior and exterior paints, primers, wood stains, sealers, clear top coats, caulking, aerosols, concrete, and masonry products. Achieve professional-looking results with ease using Sherwin-Williams paint and coating. Design Depot, all in one place.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
At the Life Company, we understand that life can be demanding and fast-paced, so we've made it easier for you to contact us. Wherever you may be, and at your own convenience, you can now access our services through our social media platforms. RFNG Life is pleased to introduce our new LifeBot service. Request a quotation, make premium payments, speak to a customer service representative, and more from right where you are in the palm of your hands. Visit our website or Facebook page or WhatsApp us at 671-5143 to try out our new LifeBot service today. RFNG Life Insurance, the Life Company.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Aiwa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Aiwa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Aiwa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Aiwa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Aiwa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Remember, not all light bulbs are created equal. Our lighting department offers a wide assortment of light fixtures and accessories to suit your style. So stop in today and get the right illumination for your homecation. And don't forget your B-Box when you make a purchase. Benny's, quality and savings.
Today, the University of Belize held an Indigenous Resistance Day Forum to celebrate the vibrant Maya and Garifuna cultures. This event brought together people from all walks of life to explore the history and cultural significances of these communities' practice and beliefs, while also engaging the youth in meaningful conversations. News 5's Brittany Gordon was there to give us the full scoop. Here's a story.
The spirit of Indigenous resistance is alive and thriving, growing stronger every day. Indigenous Resistance Day brings together people from diverse backgrounds to shine a light on the struggles of Indigenous communities and their fight for liberation.
Maya Day.
Today at the University of Belize, students and stakeholders gathered to discuss the importance of preserving these rich cultures and to educate each other on their unique beliefs and practices.
We are celebrating it in a very unique way, trying to open a space for academic discussion, but also to an extent breaking the walls, because we want the community to also be engaged in discussions about what does it mean to be Indigenous in Belize, and also, secondly, different expressions that relate to the cultures that exist in Belize. One of the biggest concepts that we are pushing is the idea of interculturality. Interculturality centers on the notion of understanding each other. So you don't only know that these cultural expressions exist, but you try to understand what is the significance of it.
At the forum, both Mayan and Garifuna communities came together to share the cultural significance of the Dare Dance and the Wanaragua. The aim is to tear down the barriers between Belize's diverse cultures, fostering a true sense of intercultural unity.
Culture is very important. All of us identify with a culture, and we need to start to find ways of understanding what commonalities we have, because we keep looking at the differences that makes us who we are. Today we're going to talk about Wanaragua. Many people know it as Jankuno, and we're going to get into a little bit more details about what Wanaragua really is.
The owner of ORO Drumming, Joshua Arana, presenting on the Wanaragua dance, explaining what the different ribbon colors and steps of the dance signify.
It is important for our youth population to be able to understand who it is that they are, who it is that we are, and where it is that we came from. I think that in present day there's a disconnect between what was, what is, and what will be. All of us as people, we are here because our culture is our legacy from our ancestors, and we need to start recognizing that for us to be able to know where it is that we want to go in the future.
Creating spaces for young people to discuss Indigenous cultures reassures students that pursuing an education doesn't mean abandoning their heritage. 18-year-old Tariq Smith, now a sophomore at the University of Belize, shares how deeply involved he's been in the Garifuna community.
I am Garifuna. My parents are Garifuna, and we have this culture, and we need to express this culture. So as I got older, I felt like I needed to connect to my culture, and that's how I got into drumming and dancing and all this stuff.
The holiday shines a light on the struggles that Indigenous communities have overcome and are still grappling with to this day. Forums like these create conversations about how that work can be supported and strengthened.
Our Indigenous peoples have endured horrendous suffering because of colonialism, the diseases that were brought when Europeans arrived to this side of the world. I saw a significant depopulation of our Indigenous peoples, and the same goes for African ancestors and our Garifuna communities who had to escape genocide and resist for their very survival, and now can celebrate and continue resisting.
Director of the Institute of Social and Cultural Research at NICH, Rolanda Kokom, explains how the Institute is working to celebrate Indigenous people every day of the year.
Indigenous languages continue to be at risk. Traditional expressions continue to be at risk, and so that is what we are aiming to do at the University of Belize, is really to say the work of indigenous peoples are important, their culture is important, and we want to ensure that more and more Belizeans have an opportunity to learn more from each other and to reduce the suspicion, the discrimination that colonialism has brought to our society.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
In mid-December 2023, we brought you a tragic story of former police officer Santiago Chow Jr. While on duty several years ago, Chow fell from the pan of a pickup truck and broke his hip. It wasn't until sometime later that the injury he suffered began to severely affect him, and he had to quit his job in law enforcement. The nasty fall would ultimately affect the way he walked, and for many days, he was in excruciating pain. Sadly, Santiago Chow passed away on Tuesday. Tonight, we revisit that story.
When Santiago Chow Jr. joined the Belize Police Department on July 23, 2006, he did so proudly, as the eldest of 3 boys who would follow in their father's footsteps in law enforcement. Santi, as he is affectionately known by family and friends, did not foresee his career being cut short 17 years into his profession. He suffered a nasty fall while on active duty.
In 2009, I had a little incident with my leg, which I hurt it. But at the time, I did not pay much attention. And gradually, going through the years, it started getting worse, and the pain started getting more, get more worse, and some days can't walk, some days can't sit down too long. So it was really messing up while doing my job.
Chow, along with a team of officers, was heading out on operations. Before he was properly seated in the pan of the pickup, the vehicle suddenly sped off and he fell to the ground, injuring his right leg. That physical damage would return to haunt him several years later.
It eventually became painful to walk, and sometimes I would limp a lot. Then I was in constant pain. I was on a lot of medication, lone painkillers. Then gradually, when the weather changed and that I could not walk, some days I had to roll out of bed. When I was doing extra patrol, I could not stand up.
Over time, Chow consulted with several orthopedic surgeons, including Dr. Francis Smith and Dr. Andre Sosa, about his condition.
I went to my various doctors to check out and found out that I had a bone disease, which caused by the accident, which was a vascular necrosis of the right hip. And that was the diagnosis I was given. The first time I went to see Dr. Andre Sosa at Belize Healthcare Partners, and he made it clear that I needed a hip replacement, which will have cost about 25 to 30,000 Belize.
Unable to gather the money necessary to undergo the costly surgery, Chow soldiered on with his job. By then, however, he had already gotten several medical opinions regarding the severity of his condition.
The first doctor was Andre Sosa. That was in 2020. He was the first one that written me a letter and said that I had a bone disease, that I needed to have a complete surgery. After going to him, I went for another consultation with Dr. Francis Smith from Medical Associates, and he was the one that continuously made I did the applications, he did the letter for me, and he was the one who continuously saw me until I was put off medically.
In the end, the pain in his pelvic bone became unbearable and affected his ability to perform his duties as a police officer. He was later deemed unfit to work.
Eventually, the government of Belize retired me on medical grounds, and that was in March of this year, 2023. And the other thing is I went to Social Security, where I went before their medical board, and they denied me pension for invalidity.
It's a dilemma that we've brought to light on previous occasions. Persons seeking to access invalidity benefits from the Social Security Board only to be rejected. It harkens back to the plight of John Brackett In July of last year, he lost a lower limb to type 2 diabetes and was also written off as invalid. Claiming his benefits proved to be an uphill battle.
I have submitted my application with what have been asked for. It was accepted for about half an hour, and they have asked me to go and get a medical report from Karl Huschner Hospital, which I did from the doctor which does the operation on my feet. I went and I get the letter. This is the letter, and it stated that I am diagnosed with diabetes and that my foot have been amputated, and I am taking medication for it, and I am doing follow-up with the doctor. When I presented this this letter from the hospital, I was turned down.
In the case of Santiago Ciao Jr., at age 36, he has comfortably met the number of contributions needed to become pensionable, but that won't kick in until he turns 60. What he is desperately fighting for are his invalidity benefits.
I did an appeal to them with my lawyer, and we went to we did the appeal, and they made a decision on the 4th of November, and I received, they still disallowed the allowance, but I only received the letter on the 4th of December here, which was after 21 days, which I'm unable to appeal because they only gave me 21 days from the 4th of November. And it is their fault that they sent the letter late. So that is my predicament there. I was unable to appeal again.
Ciao is going through a rough patch, one made all the more difficult because he has a family to look after and he is unable to do so in his present condition.
Because of Social Security waiting on their decision, I was unable to see if I could find another job. So for 7 months, I've not had any income. I still owe bank, and right now I'm just living with my parents and they're taking care of me. And then because of also with Belize, with the pension from government, I have still not received anything from them either.
It's an unfortunate situation that, in many ways, also highlights the urgent need for legislation that covers occupational safety and health. Santiago Ciao was initially injured on the job. In the course of his career as a lawman, he was injured 2 more times while on active duty.
In some countries within our jurisdiction, OSH is a fundamental right.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, last year, the ILO passed OSH as a fundamental right. And Belize, as a signatory to ILO, must fall in line.
Yeah.
So there's no going around OSH. And hence our reason for continuing to say, rush the OSH.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.